Thank you, Jennifer. So now, I was saying, I think our first order of business probably is going to be doing the excused absences for Mayor Bujalski and Commissioner Gao, who are potentially in some kind of trouble in Scotland right now with a lot of people from Dunedin on the trip. So if I could have a motion for an excused absence for Mayor Bujalski and Commissioner Gao.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. And we said if they're still up, I guess it's 6 hours ahead, right?
It's almost midnight.
Yeah, they're probably not in good shape if they're still up, but we won't say anything more than that. Okay, we have no presentations tonight, so the next item is citizen input. So does anyone in the audience wish to speak on a topic that is not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to our action items. Our first action item is second reading of ordinance 24-14, amending section 105-27.1.1.1, site standards for houses and duplexes of the City of Dunedin Land Development Code to prohibit vehicles that exceed 22 feet in length or 8 feet in width from parking on a residential street or right-of-way unless loading or unloading. And City Attorney, would you please read ordinance 24-14 by title only?
Absolutely. Ordinance 2024-14, an ordinance of the City of Dunedin, Florida, amending section 105-27.1.1.1, site standards for houses and duplexes of the City of Dunedin Land Development Code to prohibiting vehicles that exceed 22 feet in length or 8 feet in width from parking on a residential street or right-of-way unless loading or unloading, providing for codification, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. That was ordinance 2024-14, read by title only.
Could I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? Any questions? John?
I have none. Thank you. No questions.
Okay, so John, I'll go to you as maker of motion, or Commissioner Torringa, I should say.
I'm very pleased with this whole process and fully accepting of the presentation and design review. So very happy with it. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Walker?
Yeah, I totally agree. We have people that follow the letter of the law before we enacted this ordinance by building, fences around their SUVs in their backyard and that sort of thing. And I fully support this. Thank you.
So yes, I'm moving a little faster. So I don't think I asked for public input on this. Is there any public input in the audience on this? Okay. And George, since I'm going backwards, is there anything you want to say on this?
This is great, Vice Mayor. Please continue.
This meeting seems so simple, I'm complicating it. Okay. Okay.
Georges, can you be in charge often?
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion passes unanimously. Okay. Did that need to be a roll call vote, or are we good? Okay, so we'll do that. So go ahead. Now, Michelle, if you do a roll call vote on that.
Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Commissioner Torringa,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Franey.
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously. Okay, we'll go to the second item. Try not to do this one backwards. Okay. This is for application DR 24-02, second hearing of design review approval for the development of a multifamily residential project on the property located at 534 Howell Street. Okay. And let me ask first, does anyone need to disclose any ex parte contact for the record? No. Okay. And I'll go to George with staff presentation.
Actually, before you do that, I generally give like an overview of the procedures, and then we're going to swear people
Okay,
in.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely. So just very quickly, both the applicant and the staff will have an opportunity to give a presentation. After their presentations conclude, the public will be given an opportunity to make any comments. Following that, the applicant would be able to offer any rebuttal. During that time, if there are any questions that the applicant has for staff or that staff has for the applicant, those will be asked, as well as any questions that the commission may have of either party. And at this time, if the clerk could please swear in anyone who's offering testimony.
Do you swear the testimony you are about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So I guess we can go to George. George?
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. George Kinney on behalf of the Community Development Department. I'll try to move through this fairly quickly because I know this is a second read as well, but for the benefit of the public, I just kind of want to walk through the presentation very quickly one more time if it loads on the screen here. All right. I'm not seeing it on the monitors. There we go. There we go, thank you. Very quickly, Commissioners, this is a request for design review approval. The project name is Sunrise Townhomes. The representative is Greg Presby from Trans Systems. The owner and applicant are behind me, and I know if you have questions, they'll be happy to answer those questions. The site is, as you can see from the aerial to the right, is located, actually has two frontages, to the west off Martin Luther King and to the south off of Howe Street. You can see it's a sort of a T-shaped lot and elongated, and then with the home kind of up against Howe Street. The area is approximately 1.122 acres. It is a non-flood zone area. The land use is residential medium. The zoning district is MF15, and the existing use is residential and assisted living facility. Public hearing dates, as you can see, the local planning agency considered this application on June 12, 2024, and recommended approval to the City Commission for first read on July 11, 2024. And here we are for second read on August 8th. By way of description, the owner applicant, again, is requesting design review for a multifamily residential redevelopment on the property. The project would consist of one new two-story building containing 8 townhomes. Those townhomes would be fronting a 5-foot concrete walkway and a 24-foot asphalt cartway, and that it would be the access to the proposed homes. And you can see those in the upper left-hand corner of the T. To the right of that T is the existing assisted living facility, and kind of inside the arch of the T is where that single-family residential is positioned. This kind of shows you the existing site and how it's currently developed for this project. You will see that the two-family residence that's located to the west there would need to be removed, along with a small structure kind of center of the T would also be removed. The assisted living facility would remain, and the single-family residential development is also proposed to remain. Very quickly, the property is developed with a single-story 6,658 square foot, 50-bed assisted living facility built in 1988. Again, a one-story duplex and a one-story single-family residence, both of which were built in 1960. To make way for the new development, and I'll get into this a little bit in the land use piece of it, the assisted living facility will have to reduce its bed count from 50 to 21. From a land use plan perspective, residential medium is the land use. You can see the analysis here that was performed as part of the review. The total acreage for the site at 1.122 acres. The total that would be used for this development, if approved, would be 1.07 acres. From a zoning district standpoint, the property is zoned MF15. This project does meet all the dimensional standards, and I would just point out the number of stories in this particular district does allow for a 5-story proposal. This is a 2-story proposal. So we think that really fits from a compatibility perspective, which I'll get to here on the next slide. So as part of what we do for every design review, we do a compatibility analysis. This particular 2-story multifamily residential development at the proposed density on the property, together with the potential development patterns of vacant lands in the area, would be considered compatible with the existing building heights and densities in the surrounding area and neighborhoods, and is consistent with Objective 2.9 of our future land use element in our comprehensive plan. The Commission is also fully aware of the criteria that are required as part of the design review process, and as part of your backup, you'll see that the applicant has addressed all of these criteria. Typically, the ones that most people are concerned with are the traffic impacts. So I will just mention that it is part of your backup. There was a traffic impact analysis done as part of this. This site would only generate 9 peak trips, both AM and PM. Committee actions included the Design Review Committee, which met on December 13 of 2023. The Architecture Review Committee met and considered this application on April 2 of 2024. And I will say that all of the suggestions of the ARC were addressed as part of the submission that has come to you all. And again, it was to the local planning agency on June 12th and with a unanimous recommendation to the City Commission. Finally, staff determination. Staff finds that the design review criteria have been met and are recommending approval subject to those 3 conditions, which are typically our standard conditions, but I'll read those into the record very quickly, that the applicant and developer is responsible for meeting the minimum criteria of the Land Development Code and for acquiring all other jurisdictional permits and approvals. 2, construction plans shall be consistent with the approved design review plans and drawings. And 3, design review approval shall expire in 12 months from the date of the City Commission design review approval unless the applicant obtains infrastructure review approval and vertical building permits. With that, Commission, I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Right, and just so to make sure, I guess we'll start questions on this side, and be careful not to give an opinion until we've heard all of the evidence, but Commissioner Walker, do you have any questions?
Thank you. No, I have no further questions on this.
Commissioner Tonga?
I have no further questions.
I have no further questions either. So we go to the applicant presentation. I think most of the questions last time came from the 2 people that aren't here tonight, so.
Thank you, and good evening, commissioners and staff. I don't really have anything to add without restating what staff has already presented to you guys. I'll be happy to answer any other questions that you may have, but we certainly appreciate the consideration of our project. We're excited to get moving on. Thank you.
Let me ask my colleagues. Commissioner Tonga, any questions of the applicant? Commissioner Walker? And I have none either, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, and I'll open to public comment now. Does anybody in the audience wish to come forward to give any comment on this project? Seeing none, close the public hearing. And there's no staff response, and nothing's really come, and so I think we'll go right to a motion. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And final comments, starting with Commissioner Tonga.
I have none other than to say that before we looked at it, asked a lot of questions. All the questions were answered, and it looks like a very, very nice project for that area. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Walker?
Yeah, I have no further comments except for the fact that I think the design that's been presented, I think, will be a nice add to that particular area. So, thank you.
And I just add, I kind of rewatched the first hearing, and I think got a lot of the questions answered. I know I said before, I'll say again, I'm glad you kept the height down, and I think it'll be a nice project for there as well, so thank you. Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Walker?
Aye.
Commissioner Tonga?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Franey?
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Okay, our next item is 2C, and that's the proposed agenda for the September 5th, 2024 commission meeting. And there has been one additional item added, recognition of Greater Dunedin Little League in the presentation area. Anyone else have anything to add or take away? Okay, so all in favor of the September 5th agenda? Motion. Oh, I need a motion, sorry.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that motion passes unanimously. Got all kinds of guardian angels tonight. Thank you. Okay, any other informational items for the good of the order from my colleagues? Or Jorge? We're good? Okay, then this meeting is adjourned.